Okay, so let's look at this first example to see how we would find these limits based on the graph below. So for part A, the limit is x is approaching -5 of f of x. So what we have to do is we have to look at the one left and right hand limits as we're coming into -5, and they have to agree. So if we look, the limit as x is approaching -5 from the left of the function f of x. So we come in from the left side into -5, and we see, okay, this function's going to infinity. So limit as x is approaching -5 from the left of the function is equal to positive infinity. Now keep in mind, we're not saying that this limit exists and is infinity. We're just saying that we have enough evidence to say that this function is trending in the direction of positive infinity. Remember, because infinity is a number, or is not a number, then we cannot say that this limit is truly existing. We just have information about the direction it's going. Similarly, if we do the limit as x is approaching -5 from the right of the function, coming in from the right hand side, getting closer and closer to -5, it is going up to infinity as well. So because these two one-sided limits agree, we know the limit as x is approaching -5 of this function is infinity. Again, we're not saying that the limit exists, because this limit does not exist. We're just saying we know enough about the behavior. We need to say that extra information about the behavior. So that's why we can write that it is going to infinity, but we're not saying that that limit exists. So this limit still does not exist, even though we're saying that the behavior is trending to infinity. All right, let's look at the second one. So the limit is x is approaching -2 of the function. So same idea, we find the left and right-handed limits. So limit is x is approaching -2 of this function from the left. So as we come in from the left at -2, so following the function in from the left, we're up here. It looks like it's going to 5. So this limit is equal to 5. The limit is x is approaching -2 from the right of the function. So coming into -2 from the right, we're coming into 1. So because 5 does not equal 1, so the two one-sided limits are not the same, then we know this limit as x is approaching -2 of our function does not exist. For our third one, the limit is x is approaching 0. Again, we're going to do the same thing. You're always going to find the one-sided limits first, and then those have to agree to find the limit overall. So limit x is approaching 0 from the left of the function f of x. So we come in from the left side of 0, we're coming into 1. As we come in from the right, we're also coming into 1, so limit is x is approaching 0 from the right of f of x is 1. And now these two one-sided limits are the same, so 1 is equal to 1. So we can say the limit as x is approaching 0 of f of x is 1. For the limit as x is approaching 3, same idea. X is approaching 3 from the left. So as we come into 3 from the left, we're going to -1. And limit is x is approaching 3 from the right. So come in, looking at the graph, coming into 3 from the right. We're also going to -1. The two one-sided limits agree, so -1 equals -1. So we know the limit as x is approaching 3 of the function is -1. For our next one, so the limit as x is approaching 4 from the right is the first thing we need to check. And keep in mind, it doesn't matter if you check from the right or from the left first, as long as you're checking both one-sided limits. So limit as x is approaching 4 from the right. So we come into 4 from the right, and we are approaching 4. And then limit is x is approaching 4 from the left. So we come into 4 from the left, we're approaching, looks like about a half, so we'll say 1/2. Well, 4 definitely does not equal 1/2. So this limit as we approach x is approaching 4 of the function f of x does not exist. And for the last one, so limit as x is approaching -4, same thing. We come in to find the limit as x is approaching -4 from the right. And again, remember, you can approach from the right or left first. It doesn't matter as long as you're approaching both directions. You find both one-sided limits. So as x is approaching -4 from the right, we see it's coming into 1. And then limit x is approaching -4 from the left. So looking at that side, we're coming in, it's going to 1. So because 1 equals 1, these two one-sided limits do agree. So the limit as x is approaching -4 of f of x is 1.